Hello everybody, and just here and welcome back to Mahonare episode 4, in which, I don't know, probably Minami Sensei is gonna rescue Kurumi and other people yet again. Hopefully not, hopefully this show doesn't become this formulaic, but who's to say. We only have a very small sample size so far, so we'll see where it goes, right? Sorry for this episode being later than usual, but I had some friends yesterday over and they spent like a lot of time here. We watched some movies and ate some takeout and talked. So I was unable to record anything, but hey, here we are. What happened in the previous episode? Let's maybe start with that. In the previous episode, it was a club day, right? Everybody wanted to join some sort of a club, and apparently there is plenty of really niche clubs, like sports that I never heard of. There is a railway club apparently as well. There is like a club for everybody, basically. Whatever you're interested in, there chances are there's a club that deals with that. Kurumi, of course, wanted to join one specific club, magical, no, mystical research club, I think that was the name. But unfortunately, they don't take people from the standard program, which was, I mean, kind of expected, right? The droney flying club doesn't take people from the standard program either, because they don't have the notebooks, and that means they can't use magic, supposedly. Thankfully, there was another club that also has the same initials, MRC, Magical Research Club, who did scout Kurumi. Magical Research Club consists of the people that we have seen in the previous episode, right? Going at the side of the tree and trying to figure out like element M, I believe they call it, right? And they basically kind of seem like Minami Sensei's personal task force in a way, researching the like traces of dark magic or whatever. They scouted Kurumi in any case, and she of course joined them all too gladly because she really wants to do magic, and they do magic. So, or well, research magic at least. Then, was it then? Yeah, it was then. They called Kurumi to the tree, right, to tell her about element M. It turned out that Maki was tailing her, and so they essentially dragged Maki into the club as well. So the club is 2 people stronger right now. Later on at night, Maki and Kurumi got an owl from. Was it an owl? I think it was an owl. Yeah, owl. It's basically like not quite a pet, but like a mascot of that club, right? Delivered a letter to meet them somewhere, and Kurumi and Maki, of course, went there. As it turns out, it was some sort of a classroom that contains one of the mysteries of the school, right? Very like urban legend vibes of staircase that's longer when you go upwards and shorter when you go downwards, or a talking anatomical model, or a piano that plays itself. Well, this time around it was a piano that plays itself. But not only that, apparently, as they entered the room, there appeared some sort of a magical miasma kind of thing that made everybody pass out. Kurumi passed out the last. I wonder if it tells about her resistance to dark magic, maybe something like that. I wonder. We'll see, presumably in the future. Of course, Minami Sensei arrived right on time, rescued everybody, did her entire blast magic chant, defeated the evil self playing piano, and everybody is fine. What was the most important, though, was the bit of a dialogue we got at the end, where it was revealed that Minami Sensei is the counselor for the MRC, right? She's the teacher responsible for them. and that there is a purpose behind it. That Minami Sensei, her goal is to create stronger mages, because she knows or believes or predicts that something is coming, something bad, presumably, and the mages of nowadays are not strong enough to stand against it. They get so used to their Pokédexes and only casting whatever magic is government approved that they're not gonna be able to defeat whatever evil is coming, and that is her goal. That's why she wants to create so many mages out of the standard program, right? And that's probably also why she agreed to be a counselor for the MRC, because the MRC traces the dark magic and presumably notifies her of its whereabouts. That creates an interesting question. Why is the person, the pink-haired person who's talking with the cat a lot and turns into a dog, why is she releasing the wisps of dark magic from the ground or whatever it is she's doing? My assumption is that she or he, we don't even know really, is trying to like stir people towards, growing stronger maybe. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. We'll see, I guess, in the future. Perhaps not in this episode. My shirt is dirty, apparently. Sorry for that. Maybe not in this episode, but probably sometime in the future. So how about we just watch this episode, shall we? Maybe it's gonna reveal something to us. And to do that, you're gonna need your subs, of course, to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show. And I'm gonna have to ask you for support. Support the channel if you want to monetarily on Patreon, YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word. It costs you nothing and helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching Mahonara episode 4 in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, I thought we're starting with the opening for a change. No, we're starting with Kurumi's magical theater. Yeah, that's not quite how it looks, but... yeah. I wonder what does element M stand for? Element Maho? Element magic? Like, raw, untamed, wild magic? Maybe. Yep. Something's coming, and coming fast. And we need strong magicians. If you work hard. I wonder when is Yuzu gonna get involved finally. Last time right in the previous episode, Yuzu also noticed Kurumi and Maki running off somewhere. Or it wasn't Yuzu who noticed, it was either Mikana or Lemonet, can't remember which one, and then notified Yuzu, and Yuzu didn't see them anymore. But yeah, she's researching, she's looking into information about Suzuki Sensei, Minami Sensei as well. So yeah, Yuzu is getting involved sooner or later. I just wonder in what capacity and when. Also, curiously, that mysterious person's uniform, the one who summons dark magic and turns into a cat, into a dog, her uniform doesn't look like either standard program or the magic program uniform. Not this one. She joined both. Oh. uh... that blush. Not this one. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Gotta be just a little bit of a bitch. Yes, very much so. And also, he and his brother are scheming something. Oh, some kaki? Sure. But we're gonna prepare it with magic. Why are you not wearing tracksuit, Asuka? Yes, with potato and potato. One is sweet, one is not. Also, skin color is different. Then again, there are red regular potatoes as well. Huh? Really? Never would have thought. I had no clue. Yeah, I mean, I know they're tubers, but I had no idea that a tuber is part of the stem. Oh! M stands for mana, essentially. And in the ground, in the ley lines, in the nature and the elements. And we're getting accustomed to the earth element by doing this. Yeah, they need energy from somewhere, don't they? She has enormous hands. Mm-hmm. Elemental magic, essentially. Taking energy and creating growth. Because a much more convenient kind of magic appeared. Oh! Why did they stop being magicians then? What exactly happened to make regular people forget magic? Just don't eat them raw. Of course. She's gotta be the best at everything. Don't peel them. Just slice them and like fry them. Peel is the best thing in a potato. Like skin on fries are the best kind of fries. Magic. Gather firewood. Of course. Using the notebooks. And of course, even for adjusting flavor. Oh, we're getting some insight into Ma-gumi classes. What you thinking? Firewood. Or, yeah. With magic. The fucking dog is here again. What's gonna go tits up? Fire spell array. Duh. Represent fire with shapes, right? Yeah? Kinda wonky, but good idea. Earth, wind, and something. Of course. I mean, smart. Not in the spirit of the exercise, but smart. Watch. Saxophone is not gonna start a fire. He's not really participating, is he? It's gonna teach them magic. What do you think? Uh... True. Oh? Was her grandma perhaps a magician? And she was like subconsciously teaching her. Oh. Okay. Plot thickens. Okay, triangle within a triangle. There we go. That's the fire spell array. Suck on that, Yuzu. Oh, so it didn't work ultimately. You're not gonna use all the elements, are you? It's not gonna be a reused animation. No, thankfully. She's just using the fire element. Everybody's seen that, yeah? So, why did Kurumi's spell not work? Like, her magic too weak? Or... What up? What the fuck just happened? My browser window popped up because it wanted to update. Thank you, Vivaldi. Didn't break anything, did it? No, thankfully. Mm-hmm. I mean, chances are Minami-sensei is gonna drag them into some dangerous stuff. Like, that's basically a given, right? So, in a way, yeah, beware of them, of her. But they kind of, want to get into the dangerous stuff. Yeah, and besides that, well, state magicians don't seem to be using ancient magic, so. Right. And the others stayed true to their roots. And they would be correct in that claim, yes. Which is curious that it did, because between magic that can be used by everybody and magic that can be used by the few, you'd think that magic that can be used by everybody would win. I mean, that's no rumor. Minami-sensei does it. She's not great at doing that. She's really not great at pretending to follow the rules. Like, she was teaching them ancient magic out in the open. Right. The forbidden section of the library. Yeah. Why do you have a menorah? True. Yeah. Throw them off. They sure do. Ah, Yuzu. You're so adorably simple. Okay, what did you discover? Mysterious student, person, thing. Oh, now Yuzu is gonna tail them, isn't she? Hmm? The MRC owl is tailing them. Oh. Just point them forward and watch them move. Yeah? Probably yes. She wants to keep the ancient magic alive. Don't be a snitch, Yuzu. Don't you be a snitch. She broke. Ah, of course she's gonna tail them. Yeah, it seemed to have worked. Yeah, ancient magic was still very much alive in Grandma. Not as magic, but just as charms, so kinda diminished. But still. Or maybe she knew that it's ancient magic and just taught it to Kurumi as charms to like prepare her for being an ancient mage. Which would corroborate the story that everybody was able to use ancient magic. You found some energy M thing? Very good question. Kurumi did. Kinda, sorta, a little bit. The others? I'm not so sure. M space. Okay. Sure. They're gonna be the first ones to actually be able to use ancient magic, aren't they? No great hopes for her as a magician, but at least she can dance a nice tambourine jig. Yeah, looking for energy M. Yeah? What's you lot's deal? What's your fucking deal, guys? Plot thickens. Plot thickens a lot. Two different pens. I wonder if the green one is Kurumi's and the feathery one is Yuzu's. Yeah, what's their deal? They're probably the most mysterious bunch right now. Because, like, I know that the dog person wants to do something with dark magic, right? Like, we know that much. We have absolutely no clue about the Kurumaru brothers. Absolutely no idea what's their goal, what's their agenda. Are they for the ancient magic? Are they against ancient magic? Are they government plans? Or no idea. sure. I'll be there. Absolutely. Where I'll be right now, though, is watching this episode again. Shall we? Yes, we shall. Of course we shall. Recap and opening. I really enjoy Yuzu's character. I really do. And she gets just a completely innocent morning and is just completely thrown off. Like, she wants to act like a bitch, but she doesn't. Her heart isn't in it. Just a genuine hello, and she suddenly becomes so meek. Yeah, Magic Research Club. The Mark. What's your deal, mate? The school is full of majorly ridiculous things. Yes, I mean, undoubtedly. For sure. Also, I noticed that there are some students that we never see again, like the people who are not wearing school uniforms, right? The black and white uniforms in the front row and the pink uniform behind. I don't think we've ever seen the Twin Tails girl either in the very back. Pretty sure the ginger dude in the middle on the right. We never see anybody from the section to the right. Well, besides Kurumi and Maki. Yeah, all the characters that we actually see and interact with are on the left. Except the green-haired dude. I guess they just padded the class with random people for some reason. Foliest Harvest season. What do we have here? Shiitake, not moon, the fucking button mushrooms. I can't remember the name. Grapes, yams, I think. Rambutans, maybe. Kaki, apples, some sort of not a cantaloupe, pumpkin, like green pumpkin, and up top I have no clue what that is. Potato stew, so just boiled potatoes. And see, suddenly much fewer people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 18 people in the classroom. 3, 6, 9, 11, 12, 12 people here. Yeah, kind of weird that, kind of a weird slip up, honestly. Like, I'd rather just remove the very back row and fill everything else with the people that we know. Why did they decide to add some random people here? I don't know. Maybe the plan originally was to have a much bigger cast, but they scaled it down. I have no idea. Yeah, you gotta dig up the potatoes. You eat different parts of each plant. Apparently, potatoes are stems. I had no clue. I mean, I know they're tubers, but I thought that, sweet potatoes and yams and all of that is a tuber as well, and it's part of the root system. Apparently I was mistaken. Damn. Nothing to do with magic. Yes, it does. Yeah. And we have a nice little, very important bit of information, right? Element M is the source of magic. So I was correct in assuming that it's the wild, untamed, unfiltered, raw magic power, essentially, that you then tame and form and shape with the magical arrays. But if you get blasted with raw magic, then it's not great because it's chaotic. When it makes sense now in what the dog is doing, right? It doesn't corrupt the spell, right? By digging up the dark magic, it doesn't corrupt the spell. It empowers it, past the point where the original caster can have control of it, right? Like a tiny little fiery bird or dragon or whatever it was just grew massively in size and became completely impossible to tame, completely impossible to control. A tree that is I don't know, probably, presumably magical in some way, or maybe it's not magical, but it got injected with raw magic, and so it came essentially alive, right? The piano was just a regular piano, but was injected with raw magic and became a magical self-playing piano, right? Suddenly things make much more sense. If element M is really raw magic, raw mana, raw magical energy, and not just dark magic, everything makes sense. Very good question, Tintin. Where do the magic notebooks get their energy from? Probably from the same place that your magical arrays get that energy, from the surroundings. Maybe. I never thought about how those magic notebooks work. Yeah. There is a theory, just completely based on nothing, that I have, because I started writing a story like way back when in a world that basically had this sort of setup. The setup in that world was that what was it exactly? Like humanity used magic, but then they started using magic on an industrial scale, essentially, and so people just gathering magic from the air was not enough to use it on the industrial scale, so they installed like magic extractors in the ground, essentially, that would pump the magic out and send it to the machines and the industry and whatnot. But what it caused was that it emptied half of the planet essentially of magic, and there was absolutely none. Meanwhile, on the other side of the planet, the like magic pumps were older model, and they started breaking and spilling magic everywhere, and that was kind of a fucked up situation in there. I wonder if it's something similar here, right? Like they are forcibly extracting magic from nature and cramming it into the notebooks to power them, and that carries some unforeseen consequences. A government is forcibly taking element M from nature and cramming it into notebooks. And another theory, the above has bad consequences. Yeah, we're learning ancient magic. All the energy used in ancient magic exists in nature. Yeah, basically. So not even like ley lines, it just exists everywhere. People have forgotten about it in the course of history. Originally, everyone was a magician, to a higher or lesser degree, maybe, right? Like, if you wanted to study magic, then you could study it and master it. But any random housewife, for example, knew that she can do triangle, triangle, and light a fire in the heart, right? Like any random person knew that they can do the water drop shape and just pour some fresh water into a mug and drink anytime they want. Farmers knew that they can do this sort of shape and boost the growing speed of their plants, right? So, cool. I like it because it also explains why people not in Ma-gumi can use magic. I thought that maybe this class was special somehow, right? Maybe every single one of them was a descendant of an ancient mage or whatever, but no. They're just regular folk, and regular folk can use magic. Ancient magic, at least. Take back what's rightfully yours and get a feel for nature. I love Yuzu. She's an amazing character. Like, she might be thinking it's completely ridiculous and it's not gonna work. And what do you mean you're gonna make magicians out of us? It's not gonna. That's not how it works. But by God, she's gonna be the best at it. uh, makes me a little bit nostalgic, you know, like potato harvest. It used to be in primary school mostly, I believe. Uh, I used to live in, well, not quite a village, but not quite a town, right? There were like plenty of still fields and farmers around, but we also had like apartment complexes and a school, so kind of like a middle ground there. Whenever it was potato harvest season, they would load us all onto a bus, drive us into a field, and they would make us help the farmers pick the potatoes because they would just go with a plow through the field and it would collect like most of the potatoes. Well, not the plow, but like potato picker or whatever. But there would still be plenty left in the soil. So we would go there and we would just be picking those potatoes and throwing them into baskets. And our reward for it was not a potato stew. I would say something much better. I mean, I never had a potato stew, granted, but we had probably the most delicious way to eat potatoes, which is a big bonfire. We would always have some sausages and sticks with us to first get some sausages with bread and mustard and amazing sausages from a campfire. And then when the embers were still hot, we would bury the potatoes in it and then eat those potatoes with some salt. That's by far my favorite way, absolute favorite way to eat potatoes. And I haven't had them this way in a good fucking while. I wonder if someone would be mad if I started a bonfire in like a flower pot on the balcony. Probably. Yeah, peel, slice, stick them in a pot. And, right. Class 1 is doing something outside indeed. Spell array. Makes perfect sense. I fully expected some shenanigans caused by the dog, but apparently not. Apparently she's just observing. And here we have the background characters again. They exist, after all. Sure. I'll have to draw some and find out. Yeah, just, drawing random shapes, probably not gonna work. She is kind of trying to mimic what Minami Sensei was doing, right? Those are the shapes that are contained more or less in that big like order spell that she uses whenever she's fighting against energy M, element M. Of course, everybody's finding their own ways. Yuzu, I mean, smart move, absolutely, and Minami Sensei did talk about solar power, how the sun makes plants grow, and you should take a lesson from that, so you could say that it's vaguely following the lesson. This is not. And why the fuck does Tintin have a club? Why'd you need a club, mate? And he's doing fuck all, because of course. I love Yuzu. Honestly, she's my favorite character in this show so far. She has this. She's like the perfect combo. She's just about haughty and bitchy enough to be interesting, but also easily flustered to be funny, and also not stupid and not completely stuck in her ways, right? Like when she sees that Kurumi managed to cast a spell, she wasn't like, no, I refuse to believe you did it, right? No, she was genuinely shocked and shit, we might be onto something. And then she heard to Minami Sensei talk about what she's trying to do, right? Create ancient mages and whatnot. And she had something to think about at the end. I really like her character. Really reminds me of Diana, of course, from I forgot the title. How could I have forgotten the title? Yeah, I forgot the title of Diana and Akko's show. Whatever. Len still uses natural energy. I mean, sure. I like this bit. I'm not sure if her grandmother knew magic, or perhaps she already knew the diminished form of magic being the charms, right? Like maybe Kurumi's grandmother's grandmother was able to use good and proper magic, and she only is able to use the charms. Grand mass charms are a diminished form of spells. And just like that, some sparks, not quite a fire, but still, you know, hot and sparky. And see, Yuzu is completely captured by it. And how is it different from Kurumi's? Okay, Kurumi's has a little bit thinner lines and it's a little bit more like scribbly, right? The lines are not perfectly even, there's some wobble to them. Perhaps it's the quality of the spell array that you draw that has the biggest impact on the quality of the spell, right? Like, look here, thick lines, very, very even, very straight. Probably that's what it is. It's not that Kurumi's magic is weaker or whatever, it's that she's very new to drawing spell arrays, so they don't quite come up well enough, right? And she has to draw them in the air. So that's another difficulty here. He seems particularly shocked by what he's seen. Kyo doesn't give a fuck, or doesn't seem to. And the slug girl, Sumil then goes to warn them. Beware of Minami Suzuki. And, I mean, sure, that's probably a fair warning. It's probably not malicious in nature. She probably actually saw that Minami is gonna put them in danger. But adventures are dangerous, but they're also worth that danger, right? So I assume it's gonna be something like that. Beware of her if you wanna live in your comfortable safety. But do they? Or do they want to become magicians? Do they want to help save the world from whatever is coming? And yes, put themselves in a little bit of danger. Yes, because of Minami-sensei, but still. I think it's gonna be the latter. Sumil Amata. An astrologist. Who is Minami Suzuki? And we get some nice backstory. State magicians split between new magicians, modern magicians, and classic ancient magicians. Interesting why that split happened. Perhaps essentially a split of embrace the new versus keep up the tradition, which happens very often in real life, in basically anywhere, right? Like, I don't know, online artists are split between those who embraced AI and those who reject AI wholeheartedly. For example, right, to not look too far for an answer. Was it the case or was it not? Like when computers were new, for example, right? I still remember some people swearing by doing art completely manually by hand. I mean, I wasn't born when the first like Ataris came out or whatever, but I still remember the time when there was still a pretty damn good chunk of artists who are like, no, I need to have my paint, I need to have my brushes, I need to have my watercolor markers, or my pen, or my pencil, or whatever, and this is like true art, and whatever you do in Photoshop, that's not art, that's digital art, right? And it happens very often, and so it happened this time as well. They claim everyone has the potential to use magic, but in the end, ancient magic was branded as sham, and modern magic won out. I really find it hard to believe. Like, it would require a huge amount of propaganda, because if everyone has the potential to use magic, that doesn't mean everybody uses magic there. Because if everybody was able to use magic, then, like, I don't know, if my mom was able to use magic on the daily, they would have a very hard time convincing me that ancient magic is a sham. Because, no, I mean, I've seen my mom lit a cigarette with fire magic. So, what the fuck are you on about, dude? Why are you trying to sell me this fucking Pokédex if I can just ask my mom what's the charm for fresh water, and she's gonna tell me, and I'm gonna learn it, and I'm gonna be able to get myself fresh water, and then I would pass that knowledge on to my children, and they on to their children, right? It would be very hard to weed out this knowledge, this belief. It would really require a lot of... I don't really see even propaganda working here. Propaganda works best when it uses fabricated claims or twisted facts that are very hard to verify for a regular, normal person who the propaganda is aimed at. So if propaganda is about, I don't know, penguins are evil or whatever, most people don't have a way to verify if penguins are evil or not, right? Most people won't be able to go to Antarctica or wherever and meet the penguins and see that, no, the penguins are not trying to rip out their throat the first time they see them, right? So that would be a propaganda that would be easy to spread. But if the propaganda is, I don't know, chocolate isn't tasty, well, I can buy myself a chocolate, I can try it and see it's tasty, so it's easily verifiable, it's not gonna work. And the same in this case. If the claim is ancient magic is a sham, but I've seen my neighbor dig some holes in their garden with magic, then it's clearly not a sham, so what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, that doesn't really work, I don't think. Unless, again, there are things that we don't know, or maybe the magic was already, the ancient magic use was already diminishing, or maybe actually, like, everybody had potential to use magic, but not everybody did use magic. So if none of your neighbors uses magic, it's kind of easier to convince you that magic is a sham. Maybe. Expelled from the world of magic. They're still out there practicing magic in secret, indeed. So it's not like strictly illegal. It just probably wouldn't sit well with the current government that I suppose is like full in on modern magic. So it's not like they're running into a risk of getting beheaded for treason or anything like that, right? It's just hidden, it's not popular, not many people know about it, but it's ultimately not illegal, I don't think. She pretends to follow the rules, but she wants to change things from the inside. Yeah, seems to be the case. She's not great at pretending to follow the rules, though. She's really not. I mean, using spell arrays in the open, teaching her students to use spell arrays in the open. If you're trying to hide that, you don't do that in the open. Or maybe that's her goal. Maybe her goal is to make everybody curious, including the Ma-gumi, right? To get them to think, how can those non-magical people use magic without Pokédexes? What's going on? Why do I need a Pokédex and they don't? Maybe. Why did they split? We don't know. I'm assuming profit. Like, if anybody can just grab a pen, do whoop, 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 and create fire, then anybody can do it for free. If you require a notebook that presumably you have to purchase, right? And it only has the spells that the government approves, it's much easier to control magic. And doesn't necessarily even have to be about profit, just about control. I think I even have to have it noted down somewhere. Maybe not. Magician split happened because modern faction wanted to control magic use. Meanwhile, the ancient magic faction wanted the magic to be free, as it's always been. Yeah, probably. Kind of like, I don't know, drinking water and Nestle. Right? That would be the best comparison, probably. Yuzu is so simple. Praise her and she's glowing. Tell her that it wasn't a compliment and she's blushing. What are they talking about? I mean, the fact that Minami Sensei wasn't carried out in shackles probably tells us that she's safe with this dude at least, and probably tells us that it's not strictly illegal. She went out somewhere to do something for quite some time, but presumably it's not the case of her like willingly giving herself up for prison or anything like it. It started, and on more than one front. What started? The war between modern and ancient? I don't know. Got a package looking for element M. Yeah, they are both deep in their thoughts. Something to connect over. And yeah, users being dragged in as well. A lot of charms. So Kurumi has the knowledge of charms and thus the knowledge of magical arrays. She only needs to train the accuracy of how she draws them, and I'm assuming the like how much energy she pours into it to make the lines thicker, maybe. Charm to make it sunny, make it rain, flowers bloom, feel better, good dreams. A lot of those are like folk magic, essentially, in a way, right? Like something out of Frieren. Something that Frieren would like to collect. A little folk magic spell that waters your fields. A nice folk spell to repel the rain or repel the, I don't know, blizzard or whatever. A spell to make flowers a little bit more pretty so they sell better, right? Cool. There are lots more where those came from. I'm assuming ancient magic. So Grandma has at least some knowledge about ancient magic. Everyone used to do charms like this, so Grandma remembers that time. Which, again, everyone used to do charms like this. Grandma remembers it, so it couldn't have been more than like 80 years ago that everybody was still using those charms. So I really find it hard to believe that in 80 years, ancient magic was completely weeded out. I really find it hard to believe. Something doesn't check out either on purpose, or it's a plot hole. I don't know. Have to leave for a while. Remember what I taught you. What did you teach us? Amazing. Everything is made up of geometric shapes, points, and lines. Spell arrays access M space, which is like the middle of the earth. And infinite waves arise in M space, and you can listen to those waves. And Like, it's essentially the, like, brand of magic where it's the human mind that shapes it, right? Like, there are different brands, kinds, ways to use magic in fantasy in general, right? There are those where it's like, no, the spell you cast in the air, that's what concentrates the magic and uses it. Or it's the focus, an orb or a wand or whatever that gets the magic and gives it shape. And there's also those where it's, no, it's your mind that's able, your mind, your brain, whatever, that's able to interface with mana and give it shape. And it seems to be this. Kurumi Mirai. Let nature take control. Yuzu Edo. That goes for you too. And here comes the best moment. I know you can do it. Good luck with the tambourine dancing. No hope for her as an ancient mage. She's just gonna be doing the tambourine. I'm assuming she's gonna be keeping tabs on them through the frog. Who's gonna teach them while she's out, though? The capybara guy? Maybe. We may have seen the last of her. Probably not. And again, what the flying fuck is their deal? And why does it seem like it's the non-magical, quote-unquote, brother who's, like, leading whatever scheme they're trying to do here? Who is Miss Suzuki, really? Ancient mage. It's all you need to know, really. And yeah, more training next week. Right now, though, that's it. Episode 4 of Mahonare. It was a good one. It was a good one in this, like, world building and story-y way. I was thirsting for some answers and for some questions as well, and we got plenty of them. We got an answer as to what is element M, right? We know that it's essentially mana and all magic comes from it. Thus, it allowed us to decipher what is that weird magic that the dog person is using, right? It's not dark magic, it's raw magic, which allows us to speculate as to why do they have control over it, why are they doing it, right? Why are they, I don't know, what are they trying to do? Cool. We know charms. We know that magic got split into two schools and one of them got diminished over time for some reason, probably due to government influence. So my theory about the government wanting to limit and control magic use is most probably spot on. Great episode overall. I really enjoyed it, and I'm super glad it wasn't formulaic again. When Minami Sensei ran up to them at the end, I was afraid that they're gonna find a new Element M Gazer, Minami Sensei is gonna blast it, and it's gonna be just a repeat from the last two episodes. But no, thankfully not. It was something new, it was something fresh. The plot thickens. The plot thickens a lot. Chances are that the cutesy pastel art style of this show is going to be contrasting with the themes this show portrays, and soon. That would be nice. That would be cool. That would be interesting. Yeah, we shall see where it goes, and I can already tell it's gonna go in some very, very interesting directions. There is clearly some sort of a plan to make magic more controlled and weaker. And there is something coming that the weakened mages cannot oppose. Some sort of calamity? Some sort of attack by another nation? A government's attempt to completely eradicate magic, and we need to impeach the government and raise up against them. Something serious is gonna be happening. And I can't wait. It kind of sucks that it's just like, what, 12 episodes? Yeah, 12 episodes. So we don't have that much time to develop that story. But maybe we'll manage. Or maybe it's gonna get a second season or a split core. Split cores are very popular in recent times. So we'll see. We'll see what's gonna happen in the next episode. But right now, I think that's gonna be it from me for today. But maybe you guys have something more to add on the topic of this episode, my reaction, my theories, stuff like that. Do you love Yuzu as much as I do? That's also a big question. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to be notified of future videos, not only Mahonare, but also Shangri-La, Frontier, Arifureta, Dandadan, Mao 2099, Mecha Ude, plenty others coming in the future. Click the bell to be notified when I go live, because I do sometimes, and to be notified when the videos go up. Of course, support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below, or not, share my content, spread the word. It costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Zerene, Yukiala, Dr. Watt, Akamonster, Marsh, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them if you want without having to light a campfire with a spell array.